May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be always acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. There used to be a television show called Rescue 911. It was based on actual life crises in which people in acute distress had called the rescue emergency number for help. For some reason, we are fascinated by the predicaments of others. We all experience this when we drive by a terrible auto accident. There's a lot of rubbernecking that goes on. We wonder if they are going to make it to the hospital in time to save their lives. We are fascinated by the problems of people, and the more problematic and life-threatening they are, the more they fascinate us. Any watcher of soap operas can tell you that this is the truth. But why is this? Why do we get this perverse pleasure out of seeing other people in trouble? Well, some might, but I don't think it's that way for most people. No, what we're interested in is seeing if they're going to be rescued, if they will be saved. Rescue holds high drama for us, whether it's in rescuing a whale washed up on the beach or saving a little girl who's fallen down a well. We just love to see average people, folks like you and me, get rescued. After 9/11, we have a new appreciation for the courage and the bravery of firemen, policemen, and the emergency medical technicians who run into burning towers and other buildings to save people with no regard to their own safety. In them, we have seen a great example of the desire God has for us to be rescued. Now there's a whole genre of TV shows about rescue, Rescue 911 Texas, and other shows like that. Well, Jesus was all about rescuing people, healing them, freeing them from problems and diseases. Immediately before today's gospel reading, there's a story of a man bound in chains in pagan territory who Jesus rescues by casting out a legion of demons. Then we hear the narrative of Jairus and his daughter in today's gospel. It is a beautifully poignant story of the heart-wrenching pathos of a father's concern and compassion for his ailing child. Here is the leader of the synagogue who, despite his authority, is paralyzed by a sense of frustration, of futility, and of fear for his child, a child he is afraid is going to die. All of us who have been parents have known this fear. Jesus begins to follow him to his home, and when yet another healing rescue takes place. A woman who's had hemorrhages for 12 years reaches out from the crowd and touches his cloak. Immediately, she is healed. Whenever you hear immediately in Mark, in the Gospel of Mark, you know something significant is happening. Immediately, she is healed, Mark says. After a moment with her, Jesus continues on to the home of the leader of the synagogue, when the people tell Jairus that his daughter is in fact dead. Jesus assures them, "Do not fear, just believe." And he goes in to resurrect the little girl. She starts walking about and eating because that's what healthy little girls do. So here in the space of 3 paragraphs, Jesus accomplishes 3 healings, 3 rescues. That has to be some kind of record, I'm thinking. At least that is the point, I believe, that the gospel writer Mark is trying to make. Jesus has come among us to heal us, to rescue us from the pain of life, and to offer us balm, solace for our sin-sick souls. I think it is important to recognize, however, that people only get rescued when they really want to be rescued. I know you know the old story about the man caught in a flood, sitting on the roof of his house, praying to God for a rescue. A man in a rowboat comes by and asks him if he can give the rooftop sitter a lift. "Oh no," the man replies, "God is going to help me." A little later, a man in a motorboat comes by and offers the same help. "Thanks all the same," says the man on the roof, "but God is going to help me." Some time goes by and the water is inching higher. Finally, a helicopter flies by and a man with a bullhorn yells, "Hey, do you need some help?" "No thanks, I'm depending on God to save me." After the helicopter flies off, the man begins to pray even more fervently. "Lord, I've been faithful all my life. Why haven't you come to save me?" At which point a voice from the heaven booms out, "You fool, I sent 3 rescue parties to you, and you never accepted my help from any of them." Well, sometimes we're like that. Healing, rescue, salvation is being held out to us in many different ways, probably in more ways than we are aware of. The ministries of this church are based on the desire to join with God and participate in the help He extends through our worship that offers weekly spiritual nurture, through our fellowship that offers companionship and shared ideals to people who are desperately trying to overcome obstacles in their lives, and through our outreach, all the ways that we attempt to reach out to others. We want to join God in the rescue. St. Teresa of Avila was born in 1515 in Spain. We celebrate her feast day on October 15th every year. She was a high-born, noble, aristocratic woman who was called to the religious life of a Carmelite nun. She went into the convent. But she wasn't a lowly nun. She became a theologian, a mystic, and a reformer. In fact, she got into trouble with the Spanish Inquisition and almost was declared a heretic because of her rebelliousness. But she said something about the spirit of rescue that I like very much. She said, "Christ has no body but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which he looks with compassion on this world." Christ has no hands but our hands, no feet but our feet. We who live by the motto printed over the chancel, "Be ye doers of the world," resonate with this idea. Just after the story of the healing of Jairus' daughter, Jesus sends the disciples out to cast out demons and to heal the pain of the world. In our time, we are called to heal. We are called to cast out demons. We are called to bring peace.